What's up, guys? Stefan S&E's Garage. Today we're back with the 2018 LF Sonata. We are going to be doing the rear brakes on this car. She decided to pass on the transmission service for right now because she just wants to get the brakes done. So the next time she comes to see me, we'll tackle that transmission. So let me just show you what I ordered. We got everything on Rock Auto, and I went with Reinstalling rotors and Reinstalling pads. These are what I use on my personal cars. You can see I have some sitting there for one of my other cars that I still need to do. I just like their products. They're nice and quiet, low brake dust, and they last. So these Reibistos here are actually the coated version of these rotors. So they are actually coated with a protective coating to help keep them from rusting. We do live in the salt belt here in New Jersey. They salt the roads a lot, and I didn't want to see these things rust up and look like crap on her. So we spent a little more money off the bat, but we got some better stuff. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to jack the back of this car up. We're going to pull these wheels off, and I'm going to show you just what tools that we're going to need to do this. You are going to need an impact screwdriver to release the set screws off the rotors. That is one of these guys here. So we do have one of them. You'll see it comes with all kinds of different bits. You just tap the back of that with a hammer and it loosens those screws right up, or it breaks them if they're not going to come off. Over here we are going to need our brake caliper compressor. I love this thing. This is great. It's ratcheting. It's made by Lang. That's great. And yeah, I mean, that's really all the specialized tools we're going to need. What Hyundai did on the back of these cars is they used Loctite on the caliper bracket bolts. So if you have a propane torch, that is going to help you out tenfold, because otherwise these bolts are very hard to come out. So we're going to get everything set up. Like I said, jack the back of the car up, pull the wheels, and we'll be back with you. Take these wheels off. You're going to need a 21mm socket, a breaker bar, or if you have air, use an impact gun. Wheel off, get it out of our way. Now, as we mentioned in the last video, this shock is actually leaking. So I am going to let her know that she's probably going to want to think about getting shocks soon. But with that said, we're going to go ahead, we're going to pull our caliper off. Should be two 14mm bolts, one here, and the whole caliper is going to come right off. We're going to need a wrench for that one. Put our ratcheting wrench in here, break this loose. Alright, just like that, caliper's off. Now the outboard pad on this car actually wore quite a bit faster than the inboard. If I stick you in here, you can see the difference in pads. Let me go grab my brake fingers. I'll show you exactly where they would be on the millimeter scale. Alright, so the outboard pad is a 3mm, which is in the red. Okay, so that's a 3mm. And the rears, they look like they're at about a 5. Let's try the 5. Yeah, so the rears, the inboard pad is at a 5, the outboard's at a 3. So we need to make sure that we clean the hardware up real nice. I like reusing the factory hardware. I don't like aftermarket hardware. So we're going to clean these up real nice. We're going to make sure our caliper slides are nice and lubed up. I have a special lube for that. And we're going to go ahead and pull these pads off. Like I told you, we're going to heat up these caliper bolts because they are thread locked. They use thread lock from the factory to keep them in, and if you don't heat them up, they will fight you the whole way out. So let's get these pads out of the way. Let's pull our slides and rubber out so they don't get damaged by the flame, and let's heat them up, get this caliper bracket off. these return springs out of the way. We are probably going to have to reuse these. I don't know if the Rabistos would have came with them or not. Oh yeah, this pad's seized. They're both in there pretty good. Let me get a flathead. These really should have just slid right out, but they're in there pretty good. Alright, let's get them out. Let's pull our slides out. Remember, the rubber one goes up top on the passenger side. Alright, let's get these boots out. These just pull right out. Like I said, we're pulling these out to protect them from being melted when we heat these caliper bolts up. So let me go ahead, grab my torch. We're going to heat them up. You don't got to get them real hot. You just kind of want to warm them up to flash that Loctite, and they should come right off now. Alright, let's grab that, and I'll actually show you. You can see what's left of the pink Loctite on there. So heating these up is a must if you want to get them out nice and easy. Otherwise they will fight you every step of the way. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to heat this one up. Alright, that should be good. Like I said, we don't need to kill it. We just want to flash that Loctite a little bit. Oh my god. Oh, there it is. Alright. That one probably could have used a little more heat. Alright, let's get this off the rest of the way. It's still on there a little tight. Alright, get that out. Get our caliper bracket off. So now we have to go ahead and remove the two set screws from the top hat of the rotor. There's going to be one here, and there's going to be one here. And right here is your parking brake release. Now, depending on where you live, if you're in the salt belt, you may have to retract the parking brake, or if you use your parking brake a lot or have used it to stop or something like that and wore into the, the top hat of the rotor, you may have to release them. 9 times out of 10 you don't, but just be mindful to transfer this rubber plug over to your new rotors because the new ones will not come with them. Right, so we're going to come right here. That's why I love this tool. Just like that, one quick whack. These screws will come right out, like so. I always like to reuse these. You can always tell when a car has been to an aftermarket shop for brake work or something because these will be missing, and they always forget to swap this rubber plug. That's always super important. It keeps moisture, salt, dirt, debris out of the parking brake assembly. So let's go ahead, give that a nice tap, and it should walk right off. So here you see the old rotor. Here's your parking brake shoes. Here's your adjuster right here. So we shouldn't have to touch that at all. Like I said, we are just going to pop our little rubber plug right here out of the old rotor. Get them aside. I am going to spray this down with some brake clean it up a little bit for her, and we'll be back with you. Want to clean these parking brake shoes up real nice and clean. Alright, let's go ahead and get the rotors. Alright guys, so when you're putting your rotor on, the first thing you want to do is you just want to inspect your hub. These hubs are already pretty nice and clean, so I'm not going to worry about cleaning this up. There's no real rust on here. You do just want to line up your screw holes. You'll see there's one here and one here, and it's to the left of the stud, so you're going to find the one that's to the left of the stud, slide it on like so, and that's on. So now we're going to take our rotor set screws here, and we're just going to put a dab, a slight dab of anti-seize on there before we put them in, so that next time they come out nice and easy. So we have our anti-seize. We're going to go ahead, put these in. Alright, give me this one. Same thing, just a slight little dab will do you of anti-seize. Put them right on, and in we go. Now I like to just take my hammer real quick and tighten it up. And we're good. So now we just have to put our little rubber plug in, and we can go ahead and start cleaning up the caliper bracket. Alright, so we have our caliper bracket here. Like I said, I like to reuse the factory hardware. I think it's better than the hardware that aftermarket brake pads come with. So we're just going to spray them with brake clean them up with a wire brush, and you'll see that they clean up very nice. Okay, spray it again. We want these to have a nice clean surface to ride on. Alright, so we did that. Let's go ahead and do this side. Alright, give it another spray. Clean it up real nice. Alright, so here's what we have here. We have nice clean slides. So we're going to come over here. We're going to go ahead. We are going to replace our caliper bracket. Alright, let's go ahead. Get our ratcheting wrench. You can still feel the old Loctite in the threads. Time to get the ratchet. Whoever's idea it was to Loctite these, I'm not sure, but I know the first brake job I did on one of these cars, I thought I was going to break the bolt until I got it out. And I saw the Loctite on it. I said, what the heck? Definitely not necessary. Let's go ahead, finish tightening these up, get the pads on. Alright guys, we're about ready to put the pads into the caliper bracket here. One thing I did want to show you here is 2 of these pads have telltale tabs. They're basically squealers. They start squealing when you need brakes. You want this squealer to be on the leading edge. So you want it, if your wheel spins this way, clockwise, you're going to want this squealer at the bottom because it's going to hit first. So we're going to go ahead, put this pad in first. This goes on the outboard. And we're going to use some Wagner silicone brake lubricant. This is very good stuff. We're just going to put a little bit here, like that. And we're going to put a little bit here, like that. And we're going to go ahead and place these pads into the bracket. You'll see they move nice and freely. This one's next, like I said, squealer on the bottom. Same deal. Little dab will do ya. Little dab will do ya. We're going to go ahead, place this pad in, and then we're going to put our return springs back into the pads. These just help keep the pads off of the rotor when you're not applying them. So at this point, we can go ahead and reinstall our rubber boots that we removed before. So they will just pop right into place. Like so. And remember when I said the rubber one goes up top, we're going to go ahead and just put a little bit of this silicone brake lube on here. We're going to rub it in, make sure, you know, nice and lubed up, and we're going to place these into the bracket, and we're going to make sure that they move nice and freely. We're going to do the same thing for this bottom one here. Put them in. A little bit of lube. You don't got to kill it, just put a little on there. Slide it in. Make sure it moves. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and get our caliper compressor. We're going to compress this caliper. With these little calipers, you can actually almost compress them by hand sometimes. So actually, let's see if I can do that. You got to have stronger thumbs like that, but we actually just did that by hand. So now we can go ahead, put our caliper on. Alright, we're going to take our 2 caliper bolts, get them started. Okay, we're going to get this one started. Oh, my flashlight's going dead. Uh-oh. Alright, we're going to tighten these up. You don't got to kill them, just snug them up. Same thing here. Alright, now we're done on this side. We're going to go ahead. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I don't really think that I need to record it because you already see how to do it here. Alright guys, so now that we're done with this side, we're going to tighten the wheels. Always go in a crisscross star pattern, and I like to make 2 passes, so I'll do my first pass. Then I'll make another pass. And then when we're done, we're going to lower the car. We're going to torque our wheels down 89 foot-pounds. Right. Torque wrench is set to 89 foot-pounds. Again, star pattern. We're going to go over it once more. Alright, let's go over to the other side. Do the same thing. There's the beast. You should always torque down your wheels when you're done. All right, wheels are all torqued down. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go in the car and we're gonna pump our brake pedal. And after we pump our brake pedal, that's gonna fill our calipers up with brake fluid. And we're gonna check our brake fluid level, make sure it's above the minimum but below the maximum, because we did not do front brakes on this. You never wanna top off your master cylinder unless you have brand new front and rear pads and rotors, because if you do top it off, the next person that does the front brakes, when they compress the calipers, they're going to overflow them. So you'll see right here, here's our brake fluid. The level's right about here. It's just a little bit below the max, but way above the minimum, so we're not going to adjust that. That's good. And that's it, so let's go take it for a drive. Alright guys, so like I said, we pumped those brakes, filled up those calipers. That's super important. If you don't pump the brakes before you go to drive, the first couple times you hit the brakes, they're gonna go right to the floor and you're gonna crash into stuff. So don't do that. So our brakes are nice and pumped. Let's go ahead, throw her in reverse. Everything feels good. It's not hanging up. Let's go take it for a ride, make sure everything's okay. And then we can call our customer and let her know, hey, your brakes are done, your car's ready. For a fraction of the price what you would have paid at a Hyundai dealer, you can do this on your own. Alright, so we're going to make a left out of here. Hit the brakes, car stops nice and even. Alright guys, so like I said before, if this video helped you do your brakes on your 2015 to 2019 Hyundai Sonata, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.